What is the best training? Now, a good coach will always answer that question with, it depends. But today I'm going to give you a straight answer because there is the one definite answer to the question, what is the best training? A good coach will always answer an open-ended question like that with, it depends. Because it does. It depends on a lot of factors like, what are your goals? What is your current fitness or skill level? What kind of equipment do you have available? Do you have any injuries? What's the time that you can put into your training, and so on. However, that is already getting into the details of that question without realizing the biggest factor of it all. The one factor that, if you don't get that one sorted out, will make all the effort that you put into your training plan a waste of time. For any kind of training to be the best training, you have to actually do it. Yeah, I know, fucking big surprise, but that's one thing that no one considers when they are planning their training. So what kind of factors could sabotage your training? What could make you not go to train? Number one is your training plan. Number two is your equipment. Number three is your time. And number four, which is probably the most important of all of it, at least for me, is motivation. Let's start with the training plan. Now, a training plan is only good if you actually have it with you in a printed out format or on your phone when you're going to train. Because otherwise, you will either just guess what you have to do on that day, or you will make up stuff, or you will just maybe decide that, well, if you don't have the training plan, you can't train, so you're not training at all. Personal example, for me, it's very hard to motivate myself to actually start training if I don't have a written out training plan for what I want to do today. Because even though I know the big picture, I know my goals, I know what kind of stuff I have to work on, if I don't have a written out training plan, I'm just so unfocused. So I just start doing something, and then I always think like, I don't know if that was yet useful or if I'm just wasting my time, which results into me actually wasting a lot of time by just like thinking about stuff instead of actually doing things. So my solution for me is I have to write out my training plan the day before so that I'm sure I know what to do the next day. And if I have a written out plan, I just follow fucking orders. I don't think about it. I don't have a discussion with myself because I know this is the plan. It's black and white on paper, so I'm just going to do it. And it takes a while to realize stuff like that and then find a solution. But if you manage to find a solution, it's pretty easy. And it will, over 1 year, for me, that will save me a lot of training days. Number two, time. It's very important that you set aside a dedicated time for your training and plan for that. Now, the best time, most people will agree with that, is in the morning. Why? It has nothing to do with your body's physical reaction to the training. Why people get up early in the morning before the whole family gets up is because this is the one time during the day where they have control. They have control because usually, unless the house is burning down, nothing is coming up at 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning when everyone is sleeping. There are no phone calls. If you keep your fingers off your phone, there are no emails either. The family is sleeping, so no one is going to bother you. And you actually have time to train. Now, I'm not a morning person at all, and I can't really train hard in the mornings. I can get up regularly at 4 or 5 o'clock if I want to, and I've done that for a while. But it just never really worked out to get good training in. I just feel stiff. I feel still tired. It's just, morning is not my thing. So you need to set aside a time where you think that you have at least some sort of control over. Morning is best, but if you're not a morning person, try to find some other time. Deliberately set that aside, let your family know this is the time when I'm training, and then just stick with it. Turn off the phone during your training, turn off your phone maybe shortly before that so that nothing comes up that sabotages that. Equipment. The more elaborate and high end your training plan is, the more specialized and sophisticated equipment it might use. Now, when I say equipment, I also mean location. So, for example, if you have to go to a pool to do swimming training or to a track because you have to measure the distances of your runs, then you have to be able to get there and it has to be open. So, what could sabotage you is obviously holiday times or your car breaking down, or if you have to share a car with your wife having to go something, you don't have the car, you're stuck at home. So, a good way to bomb proof the equipment problem is if you have a training plan that you can do with very little equipment, maybe all equipment that you also have at home in your home gym. And by the way, I'm doing a video series on the best equipment for a home gym, so you might want to check that out in case you don't have a home gym, because having a home gym really makes you independent of outside influences. So even if there's a pandemic going on or some other stuff like that, and everything is closed and you can't go anywhere, you still have all the things that you need at home. And finally, motivation. Okay. Now, I know discipline is the big thing here. Yeah. So I agree, discipline is good to have. Discipline will get you over the bumps in the road. So if you have a day where you just don't feel like it, discipline will get you into the gym or into your workout and actually finish it and get a good result. However, if you need discipline every day to do your training, then you might want to reevaluate your goals or what kind of training you're doing. Because while discipline is good for short-term solutions, I can't see discipline being a good long-term solution health-wise. Because even if you force yourself to do things that you don't really want to do and you get that stuff done, I think that on a hormonal level, your stress hormones will be much higher. And in the end, you might actually do more harm than good with that training. So, motivation wise, the thing that will get you up the mountain, so to speak, is going to be your why. You have to be clear about why you are training. What are your goals? And why are they important to you? Because if you know that you are working to get better, to get more in line with the person that you want to become, that training is not anymore something that you dread, okay? Because it's painful and it's annoying and it takes time, you're sweating, I don't know. People have all kinds of things why they don't want to train. It's actually a means to get you towards your goals. So while discipline will get you through some hard stretches on the road, your why, the reason why you want to train, that will get you up the mountain. So make sure you know why you want to train. Why do you have certain goals that you want to reach? And make sure those goals are really important to you. And if you don't really feel it, let's say you want to lose weight, but it's not really that important to you, so you really hate going to the gym, you gotta think about why you want to lose weight. If it's just because someone told you that you have to lose weight, it will be extremely difficult to reach that goal. However, if you realize that maybe whoever said you need to lose weight said that because he's concerned about your health, and maybe your doctor just said like, oh, your checkup was crap, you need to lose weight, so and so much weight in this and that time, that's not really motivational. But if you think through it, and then you realize that the reason why you should lose weight is because if you don't, you are very likely to get extremely sick and die much earlier than you would. And if you then keep on thinking on what effect that would have on your family or your loved ones, maybe your children, they have to grow up without you, that will suddenly put a whole new angle on the problem. Because before, it was only about you having to lose weight because some authority person, maybe even your wife, told you. And you just develop resistance to that. So you don't really want to do it because you don't really see the point. But if you look deep enough at a problem, which can be painful, you will have a much better understanding of the whole situation. And usually that will motivate you to change that situation, because no one really wants to be in a shitty situation if they are given a way out. Now, of course, you have to understand that you're in a shitty situation, and you have to believe that whatever you are trying to do is actually going to get you out of that situation. Okay, so motivation is a very big subject, and we could talk about it forever, but I just want to keep it short for today, and we'll talk about it in another video. Alright guys, that's it for today's video. I hope there was something in it for you. If there was, leave me a like, maybe even a comment. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, subscribe. If you know a friend that would like this channel, give him a heads up, and looking forward to talking to you next time.